Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video. For today, we're gonna be making this really cute, simple card using one of the new stamp sets from our upcoming holiday. Why do I keep wanting to say holiday? Our upcoming annual catalog. Before we jump into it, on that note, if you are interested in getting your own copy of our new catalog, please let me know. There will be a link in the description box below. All I need you to do is click on that, give me your name, your email, and say, hey, I want a catalog, and I'll get one sent right out to you completely free. So let's jump into this and talk about what we need to create this really pretty card. So one thing that I wanted to note before we started, actually, this sample that I made, the background piece, the white piece that I used watercolor paper. Now the reason I used watercolor paper is because I was actually going to watercolor these flowers with our watercolor pencils. Once I saw it, I thought it just looked so gorgeous on its own, so I decided not to. So this is the sample for today, but it's going to be slightly different when we actually make it together because I'm not going to use watercolor paper because I'm not going to be watercoloring. So I just wanted to mention that before we jumped into it. But you absolutely could. What I thought about doing, so at first I knew I wanted to use purple, so I was going to watercolor the flowers with purple. I think I was going to use Gorgeous Grape, maybe, I think is the color I was going to use. I can't remember. But another thing that I think you could do if you wanted to use kind of the same setup is you could use Basic Gray and just watercolor a little bit in there to give it a little kind of hint of color and texture. I think that would look really gorgeous. I may just play around because watercoloring for me and coloring in general is very therapeutic. So I may do that just to kind of see how it goes. But that's kind of what we're working with today. So let's jump into what you need. So for our stamp set, I'm trying to move some of this stuff out of the way so you can see. So our stamp set, and really the bundle that we're going to be using, is from the new catalog. This is the Tasteful Touches stamp set, and we're going to be using, oh, there's a hair. We're going to be using the sentiment and this flower here. And then we're going to be using the Tasteful label dies. This is probably one of my favorite die sets right now. You guys know I'm obsessed with stitch shapes. I use that all the time. I feel like this is going to come up as a close runner-up because that's just seriously how great it is. So there's that. For ink, we're going to be using StazOn and Versamark, as well as some white embossing powder. We're also going to be using this really pretty gold twine-like ribbon. This is from the Forever Greenery combo pack, and this is the gold one. I believe this combo comes with a vanilla colored one as well, if I remember correctly, but I decided to use gold. I did actually do a sample with using gold embossing powder instead of white embossing powder, so that these two elements kind of tied in together a little bit more. I really liked the white better, so if you wanted to omit the ribbon or use a different ribbon, a white ribbon or whatnot, go for it. I think the colors just look really nice together, so that's why I did that. For our paper today, so we're going to be using a piece of thick Whisper White. You could use regular Whisper White. I just grabbed thick because it's what I had close by. This is cut at 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then we have Blackberry Bliss, and this is our card base. So this one is cut at 11 inches by 4 1/4, and then we scored it at 5 1/2. And then I also have just a scrap of Blackberry Bliss, big enough just for the little label that we're going to cut out. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do our background first. So I just have my piece of Whisper White here. I have the flower stamp from the stamp set, and then StazOn ink. I am actually going to grab a scratch piece of paper just to stamp on because we are going to be doing a little bit of stamping off. So you want to make sure you have something protecting your surface underneath so you don't get ink all over the place. And then you guys have seen me do this 100 times before. I feel like if you've been here, if you're not new, just have at it. Go and stamp crazy and create your own little background paper, your own little pattern. This is honestly one of my favorite things to do. When I say that, I mean creating my own background paper. You know, I've talked about it 1,000 times before. I feel like I am a paper junkie. Like seriously, it is one of my favorite craft supplies. It's just, I love it. So being able to take stamps and kind of create my own paper is just so much fun for me. I love doing it. And it's another way to kind of utilize your stamps. You know, if you feel like you're having a hard time figuring out what to do with a stamp, I suggest trying to create some paper with it, because it's really easy to just take an image and just stamp it a bunch of times, and normally you come out with something that is absolutely gorgeous. So don't be afraid of it. Don't hold back. Don't shy away from it. Use your stamps. Create your own background paper. I love it. Like I'm saying, it's literally one of my absolute favorite things to do. I am obsessed. And it goes by pretty quickly. Sometimes you would think, oh, like that sounds like a lot of work. It's actually not a lot of work. It's very, very simple to do. And look at how gorgeous it turns out. I love it. I'm obsessed. Okay, so now that we're done, I'm going to scooch that off to the side and let it dry and hang out for a second. I am going to bring in my small piece of Blackberry Bliss and my sentiment. This one says, "You are so special," and I really love the script, the font in this. I think it's gorgeous. You're also going to need your white embossing powder, and then I have just a regular piece of copy paper that I folded in half to make a little funnel to put it all back in. So I have that right off to the side. You just want to make sure you have it handy and that you're prepared to do some embossing. I guess I should have mentioned you're also going to need some kind of heat tool. If you don't have that, you need something to set the embossing powder with. So we're going to take our Versamark ink and our sentiment, and we're going to ink this up, and then I'm going to stamp it. I'm going to flip it over because I messed up, and I'm going to stamp it right in the middle. Hopefully you guys don't see my big old head trying to keep it out of the frame. Right in the middle, push that off to the side, close up my Versamark. I'm going to bring in this scratch piece of paper like I was saying, open up my embossing powder, and sprinkle it on just like that. So then you'll see a lot of times you have like some stray bits there. So I recommend keeping an old paintbrush or something in your embossing stuff. I have a little container in my drawer right here, and I keep this little paintbrush. Actually, I have two of them in there, and I use it to just go around where I feel like I need to clean up a bit. And I actually might want to see. I can't remember if this other one. Yeah, the other one is bigger, and it's just gonna help you clean up some of the weird edges and stray bits and bobs. So like right here I have some, so you just want to be really careful because you don't want to knock over the other embossing powder that you want to stay there. But this can just help clean it up just a little bit, and you don't have to worry. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. Obviously this is card making, and you can you know, you do what you want to do. If you don't want to clean it up, don't clean it up. I just like to so I can try to get it as clean as I can. But I'm also not going to spend a ton of time trying to figure it out. So now I'm just going to take this and my heat tool, and let's go ahead and heat set it. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to take this little frame out of our Tasteful label dies, and we're going to cut out our sentiment with this little frame. So I need my Big Shot, and I forgot it's on the floor. Oh my gosh, can I tell you guys, so we have a new cutting machine coming out in the new catalog. As a demonstrator, we're able to order a bunch of product ahead of time, which is why I have some of this stuff. But we aren't able to order the new die cutting machine. And can I just tell you, I am so excited to get it. I love my Big Shot. I have used this thing for years now, and it is a trusty little machine, but it is heavy and not, I don't think that the new machine is going to be like a ton lighter, but it's not really that it's just heavy. It's just awkward. It's really long, it's big, and it's just kind of not a fun thing to lug around. So I'm really excited for the new one because it folds up. It's really cool. So I cannot wait to get my little hands on that one. So I'm going to just stick this in here, crank it through. Oops. Ooh, man, I did that dang near perfectly. Okay. So move my Big Shot again. And now it's going to be almost time to assemble. So to assemble our card, I'm going to take our, I'm going to take our thread. And so one thing that I want to note about this thread, It does fray on the ends, so you can see here. So what I would suggest doing, because I was going to put a bow on this one as well. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, that was weird. I was going to put a bow on this one as well, but I made a bow actually, and then I saw that the ends were fraying. So I would really recommend using this to do like a wrapping technique like we're going to do today. You can absolutely do bows and stuff. It's really easy to make a bow at this. Just know that the ends might fray a little bit. And maybe that's a fun look to go for. I'm sure you could find some fun stuff to do with it, like a tassel or something. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe I'll think about that. Anywho, I just wanted to point that out. So we're going to wrap 3 times. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut my ribbon just because I don't like dealing with it on the spool. It just feels really clunky to me. So 1, 2, 3, and then we can snip it. Then we just need some regular old Scotch tape. You're going to need 2 pieces. And I like to, if you guys have seen me do this before, I like to put the tape on both ends so that I am ready to go when I start wrapping. So I am going to just put this, maybe if it will stop sticking to my finger. There we go. Ooh, now the other end stuck to my arm. Man. So I'm just going to put this on the lower portion of the card. I'm doing this pretty close to the bottom of the card. Again, it's up to you on where exactly you want to put the ribbon. As always, this is your card. Change it. Do what you want. This is just what I think I want. Oh, I didn't do that very well. I'm only getting 2 wraps. Yeah, I didn't really plan that out very well, but that's okay. We'll go with 2. It's fine. It's not a big deal. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my card base. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my card base right now. I try to do any kind of sticking down to things before I put any elements that have dimensionals, just so that I try to not squish those dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. And the nice thing about this is that because this ribbon is so thin, what is happening with my snail right now? Oh, that's another thing. Did you know we're getting rid of snail and we have a new adhesive coming out? Another thing that I was not able to pre-order, but I'm excited for it. What was I saying? Oh, so I try to put stuff down, adhere things down first before I do any kind of elements with dimensionals, because as you're squishing it down and whatnot, your dimensionals are going to compact a little bit. So I just do that in an effort to keep things as dimensional as possible. So we're going to stick that down. I'm going to go ahead and fold my card base in half right now. Grab my bone folder, just like so. Then I'm going to take this and a couple dimensionals, and see, this card is so easy. I love it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're just going to stick this here in the bottom right corner. You guys know I love putting my sentiments and stuff in the bottom right corner. Actually, my next video coming up, the sentiment is right there as well. So, sorry. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card. As usual, everything that I used to create this card will be linked in the description box below in the coordinating blog post. Again, if you need a new catalog, please send me a message and let me know. I'm happy to send one out to you completely free of charge to you. I pay for the shipping and the catalog and everything. You don't have to do anything. So if you're interested, please let me know. I'd love to get one in your hands. And as always, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!